Hey one and all, welcome back to another one of my videos about publishing my kids' books. It's me, the Poppy from Poppy's Publishing, Alex Rudy. So the last series of videos was all about making my first children's book with my character Meow Meow, Meow Meow, and the Lost Doggy. And so now it's time to move on to book number 2, which is this one, Meow Meow and the Great Horse Rescue. Ah, such an epic title for this book. I was already done with book number 1, getting it ready to be dropped in September, and was feeling the urge to continue the creative process and move on to another book. And when did I begin? After the book got published? No, before. Looking at my files, I started in early August working on Meow Meow and the Great Horse Rescue. But where did the inspiration come from? Why make a book about horse rescues? Well, let me tell you. It was taken from real life. It's semi-autobiographical-ish. Back in 2011, my wife was volunteering at a horse rescue. She loves horses. She always wanted her own. And we were just never able to get a horse. We had a horse in New York who was on a horse farm, but when we moved to Florida, we couldn't take him with us. So that was very heartbreaking. But finally, she got a chance to be near horses and take care of them at this horse rescue. She would just groom them, feed them, ride them. But then one day, the owner of the horse rescue asked her, "Do you want to come on a rescue?" She was like, "Okay." They got a tip. 5 horses were found in a junkyard. They were starved. You could see their ribs. Just abandoned there in a junkyard, from what I was told. I wasn't there. But they rescued all 5 and nursed them all back to health. And my wife started bonding with one horse in particular. At the time, they were dubbing her Sarah. I don't know where they got that name from. But my wife said that just doesn't fit her. She is more of an angel. And so she was newly named that angelic name. And I'm going to show you our little journey with Angel through the years, from when she was rescued and up till now, living with us. So this is how she looked. I think this might have been a month after she was rescued. You can see her ribs. It's just a shame that people just leave horses behind. They don't care about them. This living, beautiful creature, they just cast aside, leave it to starve to death. So thankfully, whoever was that little angel that led us to our angel and called the horse rescue, thank you wherever you are. And so there she is, gaining a little more weight, but you can still see, some of the little bit of her ribs, but she was getting a little healthier. She came with this brand. And there she is bonding with my wife. This is all at the horse rescue. But yeah, see her spine, all the bones here. But the horse rescue took great care of her. And she stayed there. We'd go visit her, and she started becoming our horse that we tended to. She is what you call a Morgan. You say she's a cross between a quarter horse, maybe even Appaloosa, and a Morgan. They have this roan color, this brown-black. And there she is at our house. She came into the garage while I was there working out or something and wanted to look at me. One of my favorite pictures. And then, of course, look at all the weight she put on now. Look at how healthy that horse is. So we adopted her in 2012 when she was a good weight. I think we got her the week after my wife's birthday. Or was it the week before? I think it was the week after. So we always say that she is her greatest birthday gift ever. And we had this backyard of ours cleared out, built some fencing, got a little saddle, and we rode her around in the backyard a little bit. Can't ride her out in the streets because she's not shoed. She needs horseshoes to be ridden on the street. But she was great at it and loved us being with her. And of course, my stepdaughter and granddaughter had to get in on the action and ride her. This was the baby's first visit back in 2012. And she would ride her every time she visited. Here was one from 2015. You know what? She'd sit on there with the little cowgirl boots, and my wife would hold the rope here and guide her around the yard. And even my niece got to ride her. She loves horses, and she was very happy to finally get on board. Finally get to ride her with my sister supporting her. And here is the most recent picture, just taken a few months ago in our backyard. Me and my girl posing. That's our angel. My horse mama, as I dub her. And it's been so rewarding. I never thought I'd have a horse as a pet. And it's been quite a wonderful, magical journey being with this horsey. Love her. So as you can see, this horse mama of ours has had such an impact on our lives for the better. I love being a horse owner. You know, she's had some things, surgeries, been through some hurricanes. They say turn your horses loose when there's a hurricane. We stayed with her and brought her in our lanai or under our foyer in the front, stayed out with her. We're not letting her run around. There's no way. There's trees, there's stuff we don't... So we take care of her, have a farrier routinely come and clip her hooves. So it's not that much upkeep, but you know, you have to keep up with it with any other pet. So she was the inspiration for book number 2. I said, let me do this story. Obviously, we're going to make some changes because there was no Meow Meow involved in rescuing Angel, but let's combine things. So that was the basis for book number 2. I just thought a horse rescue would be so cool for kids to see how that goes and understand that horses can be abandoned and not taken care of, but there are people there that will rescue them and take care of them, and it's okay. I had to come up with some kind of idea of how this is going to go. I still had Angel in a junkyard with 5 horses and a rescue coming to the rescue. Haha. But I changed some things around with the story. I have a little girl named Annie who's volunteering at the horse rescue with her dad. I figured a little girl with a horse, that connection would be really cute. Right? She's got some of my wife's name in there. And obviously Meow Meow's involved. And that's the basic premise. But before I move on, now I was ready to start the book. And what have I learned from book number 1? Well, now I know how to use Clip Studio Paint to make my books. I have a system in place so things can move a little faster. I don't have to experiment as much. I know the system of how to color things, pages, layout, layers, text. So this time I was ready. I also knew how to use Canva to set up my books and get the books published, which I also know how to do. Self-publish and release the books. But what are the new challenges for this book? Well, for one, there's more characters. Book number 1 Had 3. We're not including the pages in the beginning that have multiple animals. This book has 4 people in it. 5 horses, a hawk, and vehicles. On top of that, we have a truck, a horse trailer, we have some junkyard stuff, we even have a bus. So I had some work cut out for me, but then I had to structure the story and had to think of how it would go. I obviously know there's a rescue involved, but what would the place look like? How would I draw that stuff? And how would I create the story to go with the pictures? Always being aware that my limit's about 32, 33, 34 pages. So was I up for the challenge? You betcha. Failure is not an option. I must find a way, right? So I was ready to go. And I'm going to show you some early ideas I had with the story. Some hand-drawn thumbnails with text to go along with it, so I had a little bit of an idea of how I wanted it to go. Let's see. Oh yeah, very crude drawings. I had a pen and I was just sketching on paper, but that's how sometimes you have to start, sloppy. Ideas are flowing, you got to address them. Your job is to get to the page and let the muse take over. So I had this idea of Meow Meow getting a message from a bird, and I picked a hawk, because in some folklore, symbolism and whatnot, hawks are messengers. So I thought it would be appropriate to have a hawk be the one to deliver the news, because Meow Meow starts off flying in the sky, and this hawk will let her know that there's some horses in danger. Obviously, I started off with something smaller, but then I had, all right, we want a hawk, make this a little bigger. I was just playing around with the idea. I know hawks have that curved beak, that's kind of their signature thing, and this head, so just playing around with this. And I wanted this to be another page where you got Meow Meow's face closer to us, and then the hawk is relaying the information that there's horses below that need rescuing. Change that up a little bit too. It was tough because I wanted the hawk looking at her. Even this isn't the final sketch, but just writing out something rough so I know where everything wants. I want everything to line up here. Meow Meow flies straight down. I like this angle. It's in the book, obviously drawn a little more clearly and cleanly. And I have her land in this junkyard with a bunch of horses. And their ribs will be showing. They'll be very bony. I wanted to keep that as real as I could. And then she, of course, can talk to animals and they can talk to her. And the first horse she talks to is Angel. She explains that people just left her there and they don't know where the people went. Like, where are the people that take care of you? I don't know. They left and never came back. Not cool. This is a bonus shot that's not in the book. I had her flying through the junkyard to just see the enormity of the situation. I don't know if she was looking for people. Maybe I had some scene where maybe they thought the people might still be there, but there was no time for that. And then have her say, I don't see people. How long have you been here? I don't know, but they left no food and they're just eating grass. You have to leave a horse out there a very long time for them to get as bony as you saw Angel. And then here it is, like, I don't see anyone here. I'm going to see if I can get help. And I have her flying up. It's different in the book. When Meow Meow flies away, she's kind of upset. She's not happy that horses were left like this. But then I have her land in the horse rescue run by Laney. kind of funny. This came out in 2023, and in 2024 my other granddaughter was born, Elena, but we nickname her Laney sometimes. I don't think my book was any inspiration for it, but it just seems so uncanny. I think I called her Lacey. Huh. And this shot's a little different. I had Meow Meow landing close to her, but then I had Meow Meow a little lower, as you'll see. And then wanted to get the eye lines right, and she just explains the situation. So those were some rough thumbnails, but they helped give me an idea of my composition. And what I would do is transfer some of these into Clip Studio Paint and then just trace over them and improve them. Because why not? The pictures are available. Now I do want to move on to the next shot here. This is a full color rendition of the very first page in the book. Now, you may get the idea. This is 8.5 by 8.5. I was initially going to make this book that size. I figured, the hardback is just too much trouble to make. Let me stick with it 8.5 by 8.5. Just make it easy. I'll make it a soft cover. So I started with page 1 and made it this way. And then I started with page 2 with the hawk. And then I see Meow Meow's arms are not there. And I'm like, yeah, I could bring her in. But you know what? I want this distance between them. I don't want Meow Meow to be here. So I said, you know what? I'm going to stick with the 11 by 8.5. And we'll figure it out when we get to the end. I know I could publish an 11 by 8.5 on Ingram Spark. You saw it. So this 8.5 by 8.5 format just doesn't work for me. It may work for others, but I'm a widescreen kind of guy, as you can see from my books. And there's the page. 11 by 8.5. I used a lot of photo reference of hawks. They've got these unique markings. I wanted people to see it and say, you know what, that's a hawk. I played around with a lot of other brushes. I think I used some watercolors and spray. I blended things. I wanted to make the feathers a certain way here, all this roughage. Let's see, they fit perfectly in here. I think I kept the font the same way. For this book, I think I was primarily sticking with purple, but I might have changed it up and around here. But I love this shot in the clouds. I just use this. There's a cloud brush. Works great. And this is the spray paint brush. Makes nice streaks. I love that. And yeah, he took a while. I had a few photo references of hawks, and I wanted to give him those colors. So when you see it, you say, oh yeah, that's a hawk. No doubt about it. And I think I did that process from the majority of the book. I'm not 100% sure if I did everything in pencil or pen and then brought it into Clip Studio Paint. I think there was some that I actually drew in Clip Studio Paint, but now it was experienced. I had one book under me, so I knew how to work the machine. It was just sticking to it. I did go off the rails a few times doing other pieces of art, like maybe another bunch of Meow Meow and Thanksgiving or Christmas time, or pictures of my other characters, Misty Glow. I think I would do some of those in between just to loosen up. But that's just the early stages. I just wanted to give you a feel of what I was getting into. There's really not a lot to delve into that's too much different from book 1, but there are some pages I want to draw attention to, so I will do that in future videos, because I think we covered enough ground today. Let me know how your kids' book journey is going, if you're an author or illustrator or are thinking about starting your own kids' book. hopefully this is helpful to you. And I'm trying to give my wisdom and pass it on to you, so you feel confident that you can do your own kids book. And it can be done. If I can do it, you can most certainly, definitely do it. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it if you gently tap that like and the subscribe button so you can get more of these videos and other clips on my Alex Rudy channel. So I will see you real soon. Again, thanks for watching and keep creating.